JB, one of the things I enjoyed last season the most when we did our Liberty League version of In the Huddle in Season 9 was getting to travel around a little bit, and our good friend Jaden Daly allowed me in his press box a few times to see Merchant Marine play a number of different opponents. So this week we saw that, hey, Springfield is coming to town against Merchant Marine. I had a little roughing to do earlier in the day, but I wanted to get there for the second half and caught most of the good action in that game. In terms of, the number 25 at that time, now number 23, Springfield Pride, starting a little slow against Merchant Marine, and we talked about that in host chat a little bit, as you will remember, but we'll, renew that a little bit here. They really came to play in that second half and went lights out against Merchant Marine Academy, a team that definitely was outmatched in terms of size. We knew that going in, but just couldn't put it together. But we got to talk to a couple people, a couple players, and their coach, Springfield. So let's kind of go through that. First, you saw the game. What did you walk away with when you saw that game as it played out a little bit?
Well, it started out similar to the last two times these teams have played off, where it ended up being more of a defensive struggle initially than you'd think. I mean, both of these teams are usually in the top five nationally as far as rushing offense. You'd expect this to be. I picked the game to be 45-42. Kind of came close on one end of the score, but not really on the other.
It was so noted, you will note in these videos, that you did make that call, and you picked one team in particular that did not wash so well with our interviewees. I want you to know.
Oh, really? Yeah, I wonder how that could have possibly gone down. But I will have to say, I have to give the Pride credit. They're one of, I think, 4 teams in the nation right now that have a perfect 7-0 record. That certainly earns them top 25 consideration. In my book, they're winning the games that they're supposed to. This was a game that I thought in the preseason back in August would be a de facto NewMac championship game. Hasn't really worked out that way for the Merchant Marine. They've lost a few more games than I thought they would. But for the Pride, they just keep rolling on. Their defense is playing well. To keep Bryce Moore and company in check for only 13 points says a lot.
Where is the Springfield MIT game? We'll look that up. How about during this first interview we run? Because I'm curious. Maybe I'll take a ride out to where it is, because if it does have the gravity we think it might have in that week, it's probably worth going out to. But we'll see.
Yeah, you can call up our buddy Matt Noonan from Noontime Sports, as I think you called it out in some interviews. MIT is at Springfield in week November 11th, noon kickoff, and that could be for the title right there.
May not be able to make it, though, because I have to do some NFL officiating, but we'll see what happens. It may actually be the next week. We'll figure it out, but I would love to be there if I could. So if we can figure out a way, we'll make that happen. Nonetheless, let's go to our first interview. 2 guys from my home county. Yes, this is the greatest situation.
In the house.
It was accidental. I asked for them. I didn't even look at the whole story. I knew that Jordan Wilcox was from Saratoga. I forgot about Eglintine's home area. But Jake Eglintine, the quarterback, and Jordan Wilcox, the fullback, they both had some great runs throughout the day. And Eglintine also had a couple passing touchdowns, which were key to basically create distance between Springfield and Merchant Marine. Here is their discussion with me, and then we'll come back and talk about it. So after a 35-13 victory here in Kings Point, New York, Springfield continues their winning ways, undefeated right now, and hoping to roll to 10-0. I'm with 2 big reasons for that to happen. Jake Eglintine over here, and also Jordan Wilcox. And you guys have been running lights out throughout the season. Started slow in this game a little bit, and then eventually around halftime, your team caught fire. Take me through kind of the game flow, Jake, in terms of what you were thinking, how you were feeling in that first half especially.
Well, we knew it was going to be a tough game. They're a tough team, and we knew we weren't going to score on every play. So it was up and down in the first half, but we were able to just keep fighting, keep doing what we were doing. We didn't change anything. It was just a matter of execution, and we broke some good ones, and we figured it out.
Jordan seems to be running with a little bit of a different attitude this season. As fullback, you're just running over people literally, and you had a fumble, but you know what, you made up for it with 169 yards and a touchdown today. Let's focus on that. What's changed for you this season that's made this kind of, the season it's become?
It's definitely mentality as a team and as an offense. The guys up front do a great job opening those lanes, and I just kind of run and do our thing. And I think the culture's changed in this program since last year, and we're really a brotherhood, and we got each other's back. So I think that's what the biggest difference is from last year to this year offensively.
Jake, take me a little bit further down the culture idea here as kind of the leader of the offense. What is the culture change?
I mean, we're just coming out and like getting off a bus, and we try to punch them in the mouth. And I mean, we've always tried to do that, but we're actually executing it. I think it starts in practice, because our practices this year compared to the last couple of years are just that much higher, and it's due to all the people that came before us too. Like, they started it last year, the year before, and we just keep continuing to get better and better. And hopefully Springfield just keeps getting better and better every year for a while.
MIT is keeping pace with you, at least in the conference standings still. Is there that possibility your team gets caught looking ahead, and what are you doing as leaders of your team to avoid that from happening right now? I'll start with you, Jake.
I'm not wearing the bracelet, but our biggest mindset is go 1-0. And it's not even about going 1-0 every week. It's about going 1-0 every practice, every rep, every time you step on the field. Anything you do is go 1-0. So I don't even know what week it is. Like, it's like go 1-0 every week.
Jordan?
Hey, just jumping off what Jake said, go 1-0 every day. That's the mentality around here. And we're looking, every game's a big game, and we've been doing that every week. So 1-0 every day to build to the common goal, which is a NUMAC championship.
Tell me about Luke. Somebody we've talked about quite a bit. Who's going to give me the quick story? And I'm going to assume you both want to give him a shout out.
You want to go, Jake?
You got it.
Luke Bradley's been really big impact on, I know, my life and everyone in this program's life. He's a fighter. Unfortunately, his leukemia came back, and he's battling that. He's got a big surgery coming up soon. So hopefully he's going to get better and be able to lead us out in the field, homecoming or against MIT on our senior day. But at the end of the day, Luke's a huge inspiration. We battle every day out here for him like he does in there, because we know when we play on Saturdays, he's sitting in that hospital bed with the football in his hand thinking, let's go.
So let's do shout-outs real quick. Jake, I'll start with you. I'm sure Luke is one of them right now.
Absolutely, Luke. Keep crushing it. We're playing out here for you. We know you're crushing it, so keep fighting, Luke.
Hey, same thing, Luke. You know, we're out here supporting you like you're supporting us, so let's keep this winning going. You keep winning there, so let's go, baby.
One last shout-out to my co-host, James Baker. He didn't pick you guys in this game. What do you got to say about that?
Hey, it's underdog mentality.
All right. We like it. We've been the underdog our whole career, even from Saratoga.
Yep.
Sorry,
like
JB. This is the Saratoga crew right here, at least Saratoga County we've got going on right here. But nonetheless, congratulations, 35-13 victory. Go enjoy it, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Okay, James, that was great. I appreciate their time on the field. It was a nice day, as you could see, about 75 degrees out in Kings Point yesterday. A little tough if you don't have depth with that kind of heat still in October, to just play down in and down out at that point. But they held themselves together pretty well. They have a couple of backup fullbacks that we saw throughout the day, and gave Wilcox some breathers from time to time. But I'll tell you, 169 plus yards he was involved with, I believe 169 actually even. Great job by him. But one thing we didn't know, I didn't know when I asked the question originally, Luke Bradley's situation has gotten a little worse, it sounds like, but it also sounds like Luke is a fighter through and through. So I know you and I want to send out a shout out to him.
Yeah, definitely. Team Impact has been, I think, a great partner for the Springfield College Pride. Obviously, the guys on the team have really embraced Luke and his family, and vice versa. We saw that the same thing with Mikey Weinstein and his family and the Merchant Marine through the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation. Just a great thing. I mean, cancer is tough on so many levels, and just having more people around to cheer you on, no matter either whether it's your the one in treatment or it's your loved one who's going through it, is obviously a positive thing for everybody.
Up next, and I couldn't say it better myself, just want you to know that, but up next we had Coach Mike Cerezulo, who was a two-time guest this season. First two-time guest of In the Huddle Season 10, but he earned it with his coaching yesterday. A couple of interesting calls, and I got on him about that during the broadcast with Jaden that I joined in on, but nonetheless, they were rolling the dice when they already had a lead pretty much in stone. So I think he wanted to try a couple little things here and there as that game went along to see what the mettle of his team was. But some work out, some don't. That's the way football goes. But Coach Cerezulo did note, and you're going to see, especially at the end of this interview, that he heard about, you're rolling your eyes in my camera, I can see right now, James, but he did hear about this pick. It amazes me people do hear our lightning picks. We know we have confirmation.
People actually watch this stuff? Oh, man.
Sorry, JB. Yes, they do. But here comes Coach Mike Cerezulo, and watch until the very end. And again, back here with Coach Mike Cerezulo. Coach, the first person to be on our show twice this season. Yeah. How's, maybe we were lucky or something earlier this season. I don't know what happened except for my co-host picking against you. We won't talk about that anymore. But, Coach Toop seemed to have a team that was ready for you early on. But it seemed like both teams were having trouble converting early. Finally, your team kind of kicked into gear. What changed in that second quarter especially?
Yeah, again, they're great challenge every year we play them. They get their kids ready to go every single year, and obviously we appreciate all the work that they do for the country as well. So it's been a great challenge every year we come down here and competing against them since our days back in the Freedom Football Conference and obviously the Liberty League as well. So we enjoy coming down here and again putting up a good fight with those guys. So I think the thing that changed a little bit is we kind of figured some things out, how they were doing some things, and quarterback started reading a little bit better, and obviously our fullback runs extremely hard, so he's tough to stop, and he did a great job again today. He's been pretty consistent all year long.
I know the team's mantra is kind of the 1-0 mentality here every week, but it's possible, for some to start looking ahead. MIT is keeping pace. I believe it's a Week 11 game ultimately. Are you concerned at all about kind of that, looking ahead and maybe looking past opponent's situation? Because right now a lot of people are penciling in to go 9-0 before that game. Never what a coach wants to hear or see. So what is going on there in the mentality, do you think?
Yeah, our mentality is just get better each day. I mean, we've done that from day one of preseason. We've never talked about record. We always talk about the system and the process and just following through with that. And from Monday, get better on Tuesday. And they've not once, and we haven't been in this position in a long time. So the kids' mindset is just get better, and they're going to stick to that mindset. And also the unknown. We still have two opponents we've never played before. So again, in the new MAC, it's going to be quite a challenge. So
there are people in this country right now, because you are in Pool B and would have to fight for a Pool B slot or a Pool C slot ultimately, that are saying, look, the new MAC, well, to put it lightly, the way they say it sucks is what they'll say. You may have something to say about that. Kind of give your pitch about how this conference is, because we've seen some surprising results in a positive sense this season, especially with that Catholic win against Utica, et cetera. What is this conference right now? Where is it in your own mindset? And, do you think it is worthy of, let's say, a 10-0 team in this conference getting a bid above, let's say, a Hardin-Simmons at 9-1 or something along those lines?
Yeah, I can't speak about other teams. All I can speak about is a team that we've played, and every team has been extremely competitive, and it's been a fight every weekend, and our kids continue to rise up for it, and all the other teams as well. They've been great games every week we've played as far as the new MAC goes up to this point, and this was another great challenge for our kids, to be able to travel the day of a game and get off the bus and be ready to play, and Norwich might not have a win right now, but those kids fought every down, and the same with Coast Guard, and so each week I think it's a very competitive conference, and again we're excited to be in the new MAC. I think we align ourselves great with these institutions, and all we can do is play the team in front of us, and that next week it's Catholic, and we're excited. We've never played them before, and I think that's a challenge in itself to be able to recognize a new team and, hey, let's go. We don't know their style of play, and see what they're about.
Look at all these military-based teams. It doesn't matter what the records are. Those military teams, they always come out to fight. Merchant Marine, one of them, Norwich, as you said, Coast Guard. Last question. The guys were telling me about Luke's situation, everything. Why don't you give him a shout out real quick?
Luke, keep battling, man. We're fighting out here, and you keep fighting as well.
Sounds good, Coach. Congratulations. Keep up those winning ways.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Make sure James knows that.
JB, I hope you heard that. JB, I'm sorry, man.
I'm getting roasted over here, but hey, it's sometimes it's okay to be wrong. Maybe it was a reverse jinx, whatever you want to put on it. But basically, I think I was just trying to make my preseason prediction look right, which I basically whiffed on completely. So next year, if I do a new Mac preview, I'll be better educated because obviously the Pride are the head of the class for now. Like you said, MIT's kind of quietly they're lurking in the background, and actually maybe Coach Sarasulo took something from their book because they use the pass to help them get by the Mariners also, and it's not often you see a triple option quarterback like Eglantine throw too often, but I think he did 7 times and connected on 3 of those, but 2 were for touchdowns. Especially the biggest one was probably that end of the first half, touchdown when it was a 14-6 game. Really tried to change the whole momentum going into halftime, 21-6, right there. Probably took the wind out of the Mariners' sails. Bad pun, which is what we're famous for over here. Yeah, that was a thing. And speaking of Mariners, we have to give a shout out to our friend Andrew Hendricks, former Mariner football player out there. He gave your interview with Jaden a 10 out of 10, which is more than I can say for my picks on the last week.
Anything else that jumps out at you from this weekend's On the Road segment?
One other thing that I noticed, that's an interesting question, Frank, because I did notice something, really more someone. There happens to be a player in the background of both of your interviews with Jake and Jordan from the player perspective, as well as with Coach Mike, and that they're the starting center for the Springfield College is a young man named Nick Bainter out of East Bridgewater, Mass, number 57. And I don't know, I think he may have been photobombing you guys during that interview. I saw a couple of number ones.
Yeah, hold on. Let's take a look here. Oh, look at that. Yes, he is. Boy, you can dress them up, but you can't take them out anymore. I tell you, these players. So hold on, let's try the other video.
Offensive
there he is again.
Are always the fun guys. Yep.
There he is again. He apparently knew where the camera was.
Nick.
And let me tell you a little secret here. Those are about 5 minutes removed, those 2 videos. So he stayed in that spot for a while, apparently.
Yep. So, Nick, if you're on Twitter, give us a follow. We'll have to give you some shout-outs because you were definitely on In the Huddle.
We got thanked by the offensive coordinator at Springfield for the coverage we give, and we thank in turn Brian McGoffin over at Springfield. Does a great job promoting what we put out there, and took the photo that I had released as a preview photo yesterday on Facebook that you put it on Twitter, and he ran with it on their Twitter handle and got a lot of likes for that and retweets and whatnot. So, Brian, thanks for everything you do for us. We do appreciate it. You truly are a huge fan of Division III football, we can tell, and especially Springfield Pride football. And guys like you make us want to cater to your team because you just make it so darn easy at the end of the day. So do want to say that. Yeah. One thing before we leave this topic, let's look at the Springfield's remaining schedule. And as you see here on the screen, there goes that MIT game at the end of it, but they have some teams in between that they have to beat, obviously, JB. So we'll see if we see Springfield again on the on-the-road segment later on this season, or if I go elsewhere. You never know when I'm going to pop up or where as we get the time to do it. But it's a lot of fun. It really is. I wish you could be up here to join me sometimes, but maybe I'll see you in Salem.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Until later, folks, remember, come back for some more content throughout the weekend, or throughout the week, actually, and we will have it here on the Facebook page, Twitter, etc. So thanks for joining us here on the Road on In the Huddle.